But let's welcome on board Anuj Jain, the ED at Kansai Nerolac Paints, and talk about how their third quarter went by. Anuj, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. I'm just looking at your decorative paint segment, and that clearly seems to have good demand. Could you just highlight what was the volume growth that you incurred, and whether or not this is pent-up demand, or have you seen some build-up of new painting demand coming in as well?
Good morning. So quarter three, there's a double-digit growth and value growth is ahead of volume. And obviously, this quarter three generally is a festival period, because Diwali was in the month of November. So October has been very good, and demand was good in October and November. Tapered down in the month of December, maybe the later part of this December, because of this third wave of Corona. As you rightly said, I think in last 2 years, 3 years, we have seen that in the paint, what does not happen is that demand does not die. So in case if there is a demand which is held because of any reason, it come back, with the festivities or with the occasions, it come back.
At the same time though, Anuj, I understand that there's been a fall in the industrial segment. What explains that?
There is a... What's your question?
Has there been a dip in the industrial segment?
So, in fact, from the demand perspective, if we look at it, there was a comeback of demand in passenger vehicles. But I think because of this logistic issues and shortages of the semiconductor chips, we were not able to service the demand. So in terms of demand, it was up, but the demand was not realized. So in terms of growth, there was a lower growth in automotive segment.
Hi Anuj, Avan joining in. So yes, you did allude to that shortage of the semiconductor chips, but another factor that has perhaps affected operational performance is that the price inflation has been on the rise, and that has continued to impact your margins. Is the worst over now in terms of these price-related inflation worries, and do you think that you will be taking price hikes in order to offset the same?
So yes, you're right. In fact, this year has been very, very unprecedented and very unusual kind of inflation, which we have never seen in the history of paint industry. But so far in decorative, we have taken a price increase, which is about 21%. And with that price increase, as of now, we feel that the inflation is mitigated. But having said that, still the forex and the crude oil prices are volatile. Going forward, what happens, we'll have to wait and watch. But as of now, we feel that in decorative, at least the price increase is able to offset the inflation. On industrial front, the inflation is very, very high. It is in excess of 35%. So far, we have taken the price increase in the proximity of 18%. But going forward, we need to have more price increase. And accordingly, we are talking to our customers, because the inflation is very, very high in the automotive range of the products. And there the further price increase would be required. And so that we are able to an extent, we are able to mitigate the inflation.
Okay, so perhaps some more price rises in the industry segment, largely on account of these inflation-related pressures. We'll have to just see how things pan out. But Anuj, going forward, are there any plans to make launches in the lower-end products? How is that segment working in terms of your overall revenue pie?
So lower end, as of now, in terms of number, I think the premium and the economy both are performing well. But if I go with the logics, whatever published reports we are seeing, where it is showing that the income has grown in the upper segment, the premium segment, and there is a dent on the income in the lower segment. From that logic, if we see, there is a possibility of some demand impact on the economy range. Also, with this kind of price increase, which is about 21%, we'll have to wait and watch that, how the consumer behave and what is the impact of that. I feel that going forward, the demand in the premium category will remain intact, but in the lower category, we need to wait and watch that how the demand, behaves. Also, there is some stress in the rural markets that also we need to wait and watch that how these markets are going to behave. premium will continue to perform. That story will remain intact. Economy may have some dent on the demand.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for joining us live right here on
Thank
this
you for having me here.
edition
Thank
of
you.
The Market.